Hey,
Hey, hey,
how's it going, Eric?
good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Appreciate the time. Won't keep you for too long, but just wanted to chat about this hell of a tour that you guys put together and excited for it to come through LA and look a little bit in the rear view. But dude, let's start with the tour. Killer name, Clash with a K, of course, for Kreator of the Titans tour. Coming to Hollywood on October the 26th, Kreator and Possessed and a hell of a bill. I mean, imagine you guys go way back with Kreator. They predate you a little bit, even by a couple years, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we started around the same time. I like how, yeah, the Clash of the Titans, how it's got the K and then the T for Testament, the Titans. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun, you know. What are you gonna do?
I love it, man. And for this set, we're basically focusing on the Legacy and the New Order albums.
Yeah, that's what we're doing on this one. Yeah, it's a
Loved it.
lot. We did it in Europe, and we've done it in the past a couple of times, like special shows, but we've never done like a whole tour. So it's really it's thrash.
Thrash at its finest, man. And it makes sense too with the you guys recently did the remastered versions of both those albums this year.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. We got those on sale on tour, and we also have them at our website. Actually, I think I've heard from some fans that they can't get it anymore, so you
Oh,
can only get them on our show because they only made like a limited run. But it sounds really good. We remastered it and we put in a really cool album size booklet, and it's got all these rare photos, and it's got a lot of our old contracts that we've had, and just good, memorabilia for the fans. So
yeah. Dude, I wanted to ask one kind of old school question about that early album. First Strike Still Deadly, or First Strike Deadly, I should say. Still Deadly was the re-record, but First Strike
yeah.
Deadly, that little like VO work at the beginning of that. It sounds like it's a movie clip or something.
So me and Chuck, I think we just got to the studio, and I think we were out drinking or something, and we were doing some backups, and he was messing around with some pitching. Um, and me and Chuck were in the mic. We had our headphones on, and we were just kind of messing around. And I think out of the like 15 minutes of weird and goofy, there's just one clip, and that's a clip. And
Ah,
like a gremlin or a
yeah.
troll, goblin or whatever. That's me, and
Ah.
he's the lower voice. I'm all you will pay, and he's all the price. Uh, and it's so weird how we didn't have that plan. It was an improv.
Oh, wow. I kept thinking it was like a movie clip or something, and I was like racking my brain, and I'm like, none of this sounds familiar. I don't get it. So,
I
and
think we're trying to imitate Blix and Darkness from Legend.
okay.
We were kind of messing around with that. So
I love it, man, and love getting to hear all these songs together. Going back to those early days, I'm always curious, man. I'm sure there's a couple songs in there. I mean, a lot of it's in the set normally, but a couple deeper tracks that you don't normally play. Was there anything looking back on those albums going, oh man, not bad, or what was I thinking?
yeah, I mean, Curse and Legions of Death, that was like one of our the first three songs we wrote. Um, we brought that back. We're kind of going in and out with that depending if we go over time. But the one that's really sticking out that is like a deep cut, but we are like, man, why we don't understand why to play is Day of Reckoning.
Ah,
That one really rocks. And Do or Die. That's a really fun song too.
oh,
And obviously we're like, duh, why didn't we ever play is Apocalyptic City?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the New Order is the one record in our career where we've just played like pretty much every song all the time. So we have to play the New Order. We got to play, the Preacher. We have to play
Into the
uh, Disciples. I mean, there's some of our best stuffs on there. The classic stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys could do a whole set. I mean, you guys are, but I mean, those two albums really is a majority of the set list with just a couple rare exceptions in there. And
Yeah,
you know,
great stuff.
speaking of the show and everything, I want to give some love to Kreator, who we talked about earlier, and Possessed, which Bay Area band like yourself, and I imagine you kind of grew up with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, we all, well, I mean, so Possessed was like one of the original black death metal bands from the Bay Area. And, I remember seeing them, and then Slayer came up and played, and I don't know if they were thinking the same thing, but they were similar in a lot of the ways, the way they looked, the way they dressed with the spikes and the upside down crosses. But I think as soon as Legacy rose, that was Testament in the beginning, that was the end of Possessed. Um, they came back a couple times and whatnot, but they were like pretty much ahead of their time because
Yeah.
you know, they reached their height, and then we came in, but they had been around for a couple of years. So they're like in high school and already knew, they were Possessed, I guess.
Well, it's really cool because I mean, but looking at both the opening bands, it kind of is the Testament sound because you guys do walk that line of certainly thrash band, but certainly have those death metal elements.
Yes, but yeah, exactly. I mean, we've kind of evolved, uh, since then. There was a lot more thrash going on, and um, Alex's leads and just Chuck's vocals, and we had a different thing going on. But um, yeah, I mean, this, especially with this set and those bands, it's a great lineup. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
And
Like I said,
everybody fair share too. I mean, um, it's like we're all kind of headlining. We all are playing our
full
give,
set.
yeah, giving the kids a full, fair share of what we're all about.
Love it, man. Looking forward to it. And, speaking of the death metal side of Testament, it's kind of crazy that the Gathering was 25 years ago already.
Is
Wonder if you had any memories or anything that comes to mind when you think about that album 25 years ago. It was an interesting point in time for the band at that point.
Yeah, our drummer was born. No, yeah, I mean that was, it was like a second wind. It seemed like, it felt like, just, I mean, with alternative music coming in, and metal became kind of a dirty word for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then the tides turning and us sticking to our guns. um Losing Alex and Louis, and then Greg, and me and Chuck just fighting for metal, and just and getting some really good players. We got Lombardo, we got Steve DiGiorgio. James Murphy was a guest musician on it, did some solos. The record, we all wrote the record without him, but he came in and put some love on there. And then yeah, I mean, just I remember, when that record came out, we had worked really hard from Low to Demonic, which was the 666 special record. And then the Gathering, just kind of like all that hard work we did playing, clubs again and gaining the respect back to the fans. It kind of turned our career around, you know. And then, Chuck got sick, and then we went through, I
Yeah.
think, 9 years of not even having a record. And we heard, what happened to those 8, 9 years. I mean, yes, we toured a lot. Um, I did the Dragon Lord project, a couple records with that. And then Alex came back, and then Greg came back, and then Lou came back, but then Lou didn't record. But that was the second win. It was really weird how we kind of just, from the Gathering up till now, there's like this different style of Testament.
Yeah. New era, basically.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Gathering, Lombardo was playing drums last time I saw you guys on the Bass Strikes Back tour.
Hmm.
And looking forward to seeing Chris Dovas behind the kit. And how did you guys? He's been in the band now a year or two, and kind of curious how you hooked up with him.
Well, when Gene left, we had, the word got out, and we had a lot of videotapes come in, and I was talking to a couple different players. He was my pick. Um, and then Lombardo reached out to Chuck, and then he reached out to me, and everybody really wanted to go with that. So I kind of told Chris, like, let's keep you, on the back and see what happens. And of course, a couple months later, I'm like, hey, Lombardo can't do this next. He can only do these selected shows. And I was like, oh God, here we go again. But when he actually played, because the other guys were like, well, let's call up, Tempest or Bostoff, or which we knew wouldn't be permanent, but maybe they'd come and I'm like, hey, let's give this kid a try. And when he came in, we were just like, whoa, the energy level, and just making us play faster, but not to where we go, slow down. We can't play that fast anymore. He almost made it easier, his groove,
Hmm.
and he brought some life back in. I mean, then the new record that we put together, me and him are just kind of like a thunder in a condensed sphere. I don't know.
You guys are symbiotic. You guys are filling in each other's gaps.
Yeah, and there's a good vibe there. And our new record's pretty much done, 90% done. And I think it's going to be released probably April or May. So I can't wait for everybody to
Wow.
hear up with.
Great. Yeah, that's where I was leading to. His first album with the band, and his part's already all done, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah. The bass, drums, most of the vocals, my guitars. Me and Alex got a little bit of solos to do. I think Chuck's got a couple more to do. So yeah, and Jens Bogren from Sweden's going to be doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's known for a lot of the Euro stuff. He's worked with Kreator. He's worked with Behemoth, In Flames, Opeth. I mean, all those bands.
Looking forward to it. So you're thinking like April, May, and then maybe a single January?
No, January's gonna be mixing.
Ah,
End of December, January. I think he's gonna be mixing it. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be fair to say April, May, a single.
okay. April, May, the single, and then album during the summer, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Killer. And you had mentioned it before. I was going to touch on it. Dragon Lord, is that done for you? Is that still a thing, or is that just in the rear view at this point?
It's a thing. It's just there's a lot going on with Testament.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have some stuff in the can, there's some ideas, and that's more of just like for fun. And time's just flying by, now that we're older, you know, it just goes by so quick. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I just put one out, and I'm like, wait a minute, 18, 19 years, crap.
Well, I think the
So yeah,
pandemic screwed up everyone's timeline for sure. I mean, I'm totally confused on what year it is half the time now.
banding, maybe time's going quicker, and I don't know. Something's going.
So there is some more meat on that bone for sure, though, at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful. Looking forward to it. Eric, appreciate the time. Last thing I wanted to hit you with, man. Dying to get your opinion on this. I talked to Alex Skolnick earlier in the year and got his opinion. So it'll be interesting to see where you fall down on this. We're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m., which you're going to be a part of. And I've been having this little Metallica debate, debating their greatest thrash metal album ever. And me and my buddy are kind of coming down on opposite sides. So I'd be curious to get your pick on this. And it comes down to album 2 versus 3. Ride the Lightning versus Master of Puppets. If you had to pick one out of those two, which one would it be for you?
Well, in general, out of the two, I know which one I'd pick, but you said the greatest thrash record.
Their best thrash record.
That's Kill 'Em All.
A lot of covers on that album, though.
Really?
Yeah, there's quite a few on that album.
Like what? Which one?
Am I Evil is a cover.
That's not on the record though.
Huh?
That's not on the record. That was a single.
Oh, it's not the last track on the record?
No.
Oh,
Nope. It's Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen. Uh
Blitzkrieg.
no, that's on a
That's an original. Yeah, I'm trying to think of them all now. But
yeah, no, no. So yeah, so Kill 'Em All is all originals.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Whiplash, Phantom Lord, Jump in the Fire, Hit the Lights, Four Horsemen, Motor Breath. What else is on there? Yeah, I mean those are all originals. Anyway, I'm not trying to like
Derail me, got me thinking now again. But out
they
of the
did do a record in between, and that was the one that had Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil on it, and the single was Creeping Death.
huh, interesting. Because I always grew up with Am I Evil being, I think, the last track on Kill 'Em All.
Oh,
Strange.
look
History.
it up.
I definitely will. But out of the two, just to stick with the theme, out of the two,
Oh man, I mean, Master of Puppets is just classic, but I Ride the Lightning for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Alex came down. I'm on the master side, and that's the side that Alex came down. But Ride's the one that jumps out to you out of the two.
Yeah, because they kind of evolved and they got their sound kind of. James' voice got really. He kept the heaviness, but he got some more smoother, a little smoother, I think. Of course, Master was like it's probably their best record, but I think I don't know. There's something really special about Ride the Lightning to me. I mean, in my life, influenced wise and whatnot.
I was just thought the production was so much better on Master versus Ride. That's why I kind of lean towards Master.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the songs on the other one to me are, you know, yeah.
Do it for you. Well, just to put a button on it, is there a song we could play for you on Mandatory Metallica? What's your favorite Metallica tune?
Oh man. Well, there's a lot of them, man. I'm a big Metallica fan. Let's do Phantom Lord.
Perfect. There we go. Get one off of Kill 'Em All in.
All right.
Beautiful, Eric. Thank you so much for the time. Can't wait to see you at the LA show at the Hollywood Palladium.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Thanks. Bye bye.